Damn it, I meant to pause that, I'm sorry. But, I think, you know, a lot of people are so concerned about their parents not loving them or anything, but to be honest, your parents are not going to be there all the time, okay? 40 years down the line or whatever, when they pass, ultimately, they're going to be at the age where they love you because they just love you. Whatever journey you've been on, most parents, they tell you their experiences and they're disappointed because they're hoping you're going to become excellent. They believed in your potential, etc. You know, I don't think a lot of them mean it in, you know, a bad way, but a lot of us put ourselves into a lot of pressure because of that. You know, at a young age, I dropped out of college, I took my scholarship money, went and got tatted up, and I bought a motorcycle, and I got my motorcycle license. Did my grandparents love that? No. I literally, when I got my first tattoo, I had to sit my grandparents down. They thought I was pregnant. Like, this is how I was introducing it, as if I was pregnant. I was like, hey, you guys are going to be really disappointed in me. I just want to say I'm sorry beforehand. Like, this doesn't change who I am, but... And I showed them my forearm tattoo, and they're like, oh! They looked at each other, looked at me. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Do you like it? So, I just have always done my own thing and just kind of dealt with my grandparents' reaction. And I never cared for my dad's reaction because he always was rooting for me no matter what I did. So it was never about earning his approval in my life, which I think helped me a lot. Like subconsciously, right? So that way I could go forward. Because I remember when he pierced my ears, my grandparents were really mad. But truth be told, as much as I love my grandparents, that made me really feel like me and my dad were a team, right? And so, moving forward, like, he just really supported anything I did. As a matter of fact, there was one point during my grandma's funeral, so I was the night before, and my aunt was, like, cooking and stuff like that, and cooking is my love language, and I was like, okay, I know I'm gonna move down here again, like, you know, can I come by and, like, cook for you, blah, blah, and he was like, I don't need your help, and I'm like, ew, lower your tone. No, I'm just kidding. But I was like, ugh. And then later in the evening, my dad's sitting there, grandpa's sitting there, and we're like re-saying this, and he's saying like such a mean tone. Like, as if like I'm being an asshole for offering. And I didn't know this at this point. My dad could sense it, right? So, my grandpa said something that just set me off. And I was like, wow, you're being a dick. And my dad just laughed. And then it progressed from there. And he's like, you watch your mouth, young lady. And I'm like, no. You're being fucking rude. And he's like, if you curse again, because I've never cussed at him, ever. This is the grandpa that essayed me in high school, by the way. Who fully admitted it, too. But he's like, if you cuss again at me, you're not going to your grandmother's funeral. And I stood up, and I'm like, you can't ban me from my fucking grandma's funeral. And I was like, you're being such a fucking asshole to me. Like, and then my dad stood up, and him and I were yelling face to face. And I was crying, because, like, he's being a jerk. He's a dick. And my dad, you know, yelled at me, and then I went into my room and cried. And then he explained to me, he went into my room afterwards, and he explained to me, he's like, you know, guys in that age frame, it is offensive if you are a girl telling them, I can help you. Because, A, me being younger and the granddaughter, it's putting him in this position of incompetent feeling. Get out of here. Anyway, you know, I didn't understand that. I never understood that because I've been met with that response before by people where I try to help and people are really mean. And then I understood it. It's because sometimes while you think of it as struggling, people don't see it as a struggle. And when you project that, they're seeing it as you being, woe is pity. you know? I didn't mean it that way, I swear to God. But with my dad explaining it to me, you know, after that, I was like, okay, like, I guess that fucking makes sense, but what a dick. And he's like, yeah, he's kind of mean. And I was like, yeah, bitch. No. But the next morning, my dad was like, you know, I'm really proud of you, blah, blah. I'm not scared, okay? My dad's like 6'1". I don't even know how much he weighs. I think he's like 230, 250. He's a big dude. He's really big. I ain't scared. Honestly, I think that's the problem, though, is, like, I really do think I'm, like, a 6-foot Marine man. That's what I feel like in my body. And if you knew me, I'm 4'11", like, barely 105 pounds right now. So, I'm trying to gain weight. I lost some weight. I was at 112, and then I lost weight. It's because of the prednisone, the stuff that makes my face puffy. I'm on 5 now. I was on 10 a bit ago, and I'm decreasing because it's not good for me. But it's the one thing that helps. So, I'm decreasing, and with that comes decreased appetite, decreased weight. Because the water weight and the appetite, it really sucks. But I'm used to this, so that's where hopefully my joints will get better, and then I can start working out and putting that weight back on. But nonetheless, you know, I have found through that journey, right, that the people who really are for you are for you. And my dad has always been my #1 supporter, which is why it confuses me when people are like, they say fatherless behavior. And I explained this with my social media, I think. There's going to be repetitive stuff because I really don't remember what I tell you guys. And there's always new people. But there was one point where I just went viral on TikTok and dudes saw me and they're like, oh, fatherless behavior. I'm like, what? But I have a dad. I don't get that. And like, we're close. I love him. Like, what? And so they had to explain to me that it's like incel behavior. I was like, oh, okay, okay. So now, you know, I understand that people meet things that they're kind of like unsure of, or they think, I don't know what they think. But all I can say is you're always going to piss someone off. You're always going to piss someone off, okay? I prefer to do it authentically. That's where, like, I know it sounds kind of mean, but I don't mind triggering people because I know, I love everyone. And some girl came into my stream one time. She's like, you're such a filthy liar. How could you love everyone? I was like, whoa, calm down, Ursula. First off, how much hate is in your heart? Secondly, it's because I've learned to love myself. Through all the mistakes I've made, through all the shit that I've been through, I gave myself enough grace and enough room to make errors. You know, a lot of us will give the worst people time and time again to hurt our feelings. We'll give them so many chances, right? Where if you just turn that inward and, you know, you'll eventually make mistakes and understand a pattern and stop making those mistakes. So it won't be as time and time again as it would be if you trusted on the external source to give you that same but different outcome. You see what I'm saying? Hopefully. But I think most people, and this is going to sound corny, okay, but most people don't understand how important they are. I want to tell you, even if you want to lay in a field and eat fruit all day and do nothing except scroll on TikTok, you can. And you are worth so much if you even want to do that. Do you know how many Nepo babies or whatever the rich trust fund babies there are that do that? Okay, they have no problem with it. Why should you? Because in the poor class, we're ingrained to believe our worth is derivative from our net worth, how much we produce in society, blah, 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 blah. And then if you have that net worth come through a trust fund, then automatically you're worth something. That is not according to me, okay? That doesn't fly here, okay? What my rules are is everybody's worth something until proven not, okay? So I think a lot of people, and even then, you know, people will become awful people because of what's done to them, and they're still worth something, you know? Even, you know, the worst people in society, and I know that sounds crazy, I feel a sense of compassion towards them because you just know that for someone to be that awful, there has to be a certain extent of trauma. There has to be something going on, And I'm just grateful I don't fucking understand. Like, I get it, but I'm grateful it's not me, right? So, you know, I think a lot of people need to understand that even though they're not a millionaire, even though they don't have a high-paying job or the newest of the new things or whatever, that they are still very worthy of everything you've ever wanted and then some, okay? And that's how bad people win. I will tell you that much, because they've understood manifestation and they truly think they deserve this shit. And that's why you see narcissistic people win all the time, because to the core, they believe they deserve everything. And, you know, you can't do anything about that. But what you can do is give yourself everything to the point where you don't even care about what other people are getting, because you're so happy with your life. And, you know, I remember being at that point really young, you know, there's a quote where it's like, you know, comparison is a thief of joy. And I didn't like, as a kid, how, like, I was always, like, made to feel bad if I didn't have, like, the newest phone. But I've never had the newest phone. I don't care for the newest phone. As a matter of fact, the newest phone usually has the most bugs in it. So I don't mind having a phone that's fine for a few years back. And I was always, like, made to feel bad. But I never really truly felt bad because I was happy with what I had. I don't care. Like, I'm not wasting money on a new phone every year when I don't need to. I put that money into something else I love. And B, I find when you're always chasing the newest product, you're going to forever never be happy. And I know I said don't use those words, but, like, forever, for real, until you fix that problem. Like, because there's always, with consumers, and there's always stuff coming out, right? So it's a dopamine thing. It's a, you know, fixing the levels in your body kind of thing, getting the good feels. That's why delivery food is so successful, because now with online shopping, it hits on two factors. It hits on food, well, three. It hits on food, it hits on junk food more than anything, and then it hits on the online shopping button dopamine fix kind of thing, right? So once you start analyzing things through that, then it kind of helps change the behavior. But truthfully, when a lot of people who are people pleasers have a gift in them that has been doled down through the years by some people who hated on them, who didn't possess that gift and were threatened by it, okay? And some people think that means that they have to be super pretty, super skinny, whatever. No, okay? Maybe you're heavier set, but you fucking work it. Guarantee there's going to be people jealous because A, they're mad that you're not following the status quo of being skinny, and then you're still getting good attention. You know, they're mad that they're having to eat healthy and they're following the rules and still not getting even near the amount of good attention that you are. You know, that's why you see a lot of bigger girls will get hate on, because that's exactly what it is. And it's kind of the same thing with everything. You know, happy people don't hate. I will never hate on someone. I don't even care to be judgmental at this point. It's literally like I just see someone and the first thing I see is just whatever's good. Like, maybe they're not systemically attractive. Maybe they're wearing weird-ass clothes. Maybe whatever. But I fucking love it. I love that you're working what you got, because that's what I do. I work with what I got. You know, and I love that you're doing you. And, like, you're slaying that. Fuck yeah. So, to me, I remember being at that point, though, because there were people around me who made me feel like I wasn't good enough. The guys I was dating. So they would always be Snapchatting friends and getting naked pictures from friends and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not okay. In some relationships, it is. But this is not for me. And so that, from there, because in high school, I wasn't like that. I didn't give a shit if my boyfriend looked at other girls. I didn't care because I got this thing on me. Anyway, and face card never declines. Sometimes, maybe. I don't know. Sometimes I make really weird faces like that one. And I see it and I'm like, anyway. But it was only till I dated the guy out of high school who was 10 years older than me. I had just turned 18. He was 28, turning 29. And that year. So he was like almost 11 years older than me. And he pretty much groomed me and then made me feel like I was the worst thing in the world when at 18, I was cooking meals from scratch and making all of his meals, all of our meals, shit like that. Because I was trying to prove, like, oh yeah, I'm a good wife. Ew. Ew. Anyway. So, now I'm like, yeah, no thank you, because I'd rather just give that to myself, you know? And at this point, I've never dated a man who can cook. That's like my #1 prerequisite, because a lot of dudes can't. Not even that, I have a very specific dietary, you know, and a guy who really cared about me and cared about my dietary needs and then cooked accordingly. Oh my god! Anyway, where is he? Okay, so, but truthfully, you know I have flaws, but I love myself for them because I know I'll work through them, and I've been through a lot of stuff and I've gotten through that. And you on the other side of the screen need to remember that you've gotten through all of your worst days, okay? Maybe not amazingly, but you've gotten through them, okay? Hold on, my phone's, I guess, dying. I gotta charge it. So, by the way, this cool little stand I got on Amazon, it lights up and it has a phone charging thingy. But, come on, don't die. Don't die on me. Oh my god. Okay. So, but a lot of times people will see a light in you and they will try to humble you. They will. Don't let them, okay? Because there's a reason why. I would never see someone who's doing something so amazing because I've learned to love myself. I would never take it as a threat. Either A, I can't do it, or B, I can do it and I could learn to do it and I'm inspired by them. Thank you. You know? And that's where I was. So we'll go into this whole thing about the thing that I struggle with is girls copying me, okay? But it's a whole different level. I don't know what else to call it. When I open with that, people, A, the insults are like, oh, you're not original. First off, yes, I am. Suck my ass. B, the other girls come in and start being mean. I very rarely get girls, less guys who understand this, but it plays into what I'm trying to talk about. So, for me, when I see someone, if they inspire me, I'll tag them. I'll tell the world, because it helped me become a part of me, you know? Like, a lot of my art style, like my drawings and stuff, is inspired by Zoil, Xoil. He's a tattoo artist. I think he's Polish. I'm not too sure. Swedish, maybe, or something. I love his style. I learned about him when I was 18 and started apprenticing for tattoo artists. And, like, one of my assignments was to look up artists. And I looked up 10 different artists and found Zoil. And I love his style. So I integrated a lot of what I learned with my style and his style into like a new style for myself. And so, you know, never would I be like, oh yeah, this is just purely me. And even then, Einstein even said, and I truly believe this because, once again, I'll show you the video. I'll have to find the video and do a special video about this, okay? But if you imagine energy just as an infinite ribbon, okay? It just is so entwined, but it's all still one loop, okay? You know, that's us. That's everything you are, you act out. The energy is going to be intertwined and come back somehow, okay? So, you know, taking that step and really being yourself, but being inspired by others, I think, but being comfortable in that is important, because some people will be inspired by others in a competitive way. In a more of, I want that, I'm going to try to embody it, and, like, they don't want to give credit to you, whoever it is, because it reminds them that they're not original, they didn't come up with it. But here's the thing, like, nobody is 100% original. You know, somebody's always inspired by something, and that's okay. But the thing is a lot of people take that as an attack. Like the girls who follow me and try to copy the shit that I do, they'll see me. They see that my platform naturally gets a lot of male attention. Most of them are SW girls. As a matter of fact, every girl that has done this to me online has been a SW girl. But they see just me being me gets the dudes. I don't know why. I really fucking don't know why. But they will try to copy everything about me. They'll try to, you know, copy my makeup. They'll try to, and it might not be to a T, okay? They'll see that this is what I've got going on with my makeup, so then they'll start doing lines across their nose because they want to have something, like, this has been something I've done for literally 5-6 years, okay? So you could try to embody it, but it's just the fact that this is just my style. It's just been the style for years. Like, it's been consistent. people like that, they don't know who they are. So they jump from style to style. And actually what happened was these people that were stalking me, not only were they... So, okay, let me give an example of one girl, okay? I think I've said this before. I'm not going to say names because I'm not going to specify. If they're watching this, they know who they are. But one girl, she had been stalking my stuff for a while. I'm almost positive. Because I have always, like, the only reason why I found her was through a motorcycle video. I've always posted about, like, my motorcycles and stuff before that, so I'm gonna assume either she saw me beforehand and got suggested to me, and I just didn't notice her, or what. And here's the thing is, I've come to learn that actually a lot of big-time TikTokers follow me. I didn't fucking know that. Like, people in the millions, and I'm like, whoa, what? Because, like, I've never been the popular kid, but I've always been able to be cool with everyone. Like, I really have no problem with anyone. I love everyone, truly. Until you, like, piss me off, and even then, I'll be like, okay, cool. Like, kind of rude, but, like, for my sake and yours, bye. But one girl, you know, she really attached to my profile because she saw that there's a lot of guys on my profile. And it's either this or they're dating someone who they know is attracted to me, or the girl themselves is attracted to me. And they want to, like, embody that. And they'll sit there and copy every little thing I do, change their hair color. This one girl, I had posted a video of one, there was 3, like I said. I had posted a video of one girl, and she finally stopped because I called her out. But hers was because her dude had found my page, and I think she saw him, like, viewing my TikToks. So she would, like, copy my makeup and copy what I would do in my videos. So, like, if I went to Filiberto's, she would go to Alberto's, right? And do a video and order the same thing that I ordered, but then some, because she has a family. And then she would, like, do videos where she would, like, copy my makeup as, like, a joke. And, like, because it's emo, which I don't classify myself as emo. I grew up in the emo times, so I have a little bit of the emo flair, but really, I consider myself more grunge goth, grunge emo, maybe. I don't know, grunge alternative. Really, I just was influenced by Evanescence a lot, so, anyway. But then they start, like, this other girl that I'm talking about, she was quick, because I called her out, and she ended up blocking me because called out. But another girl, she caught whiff of my page, and then would just, like, copy things I would do. And I caught whiff of it because I used a sound. I use very discreet sounds. Not discreet, but, like, not trending, right? You have to, like, go search for this. Like, it's not something that you would really find on your page, unless you're, like, stalking my shit, okay? So I would do, like, very, like, not trending, like, very obscure sounds. So, and then this girl would do the same thing. And I'm like, okay. Like, obviously I'm giving you inspo. Why are you doing that? Okay, I'll let it slide, because what can you do, right? And then eventually, you know, I'm wearing hats that are backwards. And this is how girls are. They're very passive. So I know guys will come in and be like, get a hold of yourself, blah, blah. But I don't care. You're not a girl. I've understood now at this point, most guys don't understand how passive-aggressive and manipulative with the undertones women are. And that's why I've always struggled to have friendships with women. Not really struggle, because I've always had plenty of friendships with women. But it's always like, okay, they either love me or they fucking hate me. And they just, like, not just hate me, but they want to, like, copy everything about me while hating on me. And so, you know, that's where it stems from competitive. And those people will always be steps behind me, because no matter what, you're looking to me for the next step, right? So I ended up blocking those people and going on, like, a month hiatus. Wouldn't you know that the girls that I blocked, and, you know, they ended up morphing into someone else, you know, within that month, which I knew would happen because I'm very familiar with girls doing this. They latch on, and if you're not giving any new content, if you're not giving any new ideas, if you stop posting, then they get bored because they have to try to be better. And I had a friend like this that I had to cut off, and she explained it to me this way, where she has to be better than everyone. So, because I got, like, for me, I didn't say this, but I caught wind of her, like, always doing this one-uppy thing. So when she said this, it was like a red flag for me, because that's not how I work. You know, I am happy to let people shine because I shine in my own way, and I don't think I need to overshine and shine all the time. You know, I am happy to shine when I shine, and I am happy to see others shine because it's just as beautiful. It's like seeing a beautiful magical crystal next to a beautiful, wonderfully carved statue. How can you even compare? They're both beautiful, and I myself am a beautiful fucking flower garden. I don't fucking know. And none of them compare. They're all beautiful, and you can just sit and be okay with admiring the difference in the beauty. There's no competition. Much like, you know, you can't compare a beautiful dog to a beautiful flower. You can try, but they're just really not the same thing, right? You can't like be like, oh, why aren't you so beautiful like that flower? Okay, first off, well, it's not a flower, you know? So a lot of people go into this mindset of, you know, it's always stemming from the self-worth. People like that are surrounded by people who make them feel like their true self is not enough. And I try to not block people like that because I really hope that along the line, even though they're copying me, I hope along that line it helps them branch out and be more them. You know, I know my style isn't crazy out there, but it's still kind of out there. Enough for people who are normal to look at me and be like they don't know if they like it or not because it's kind of normal but kind of not, you know. It's not too out there, but it's not normal. You know, it rides the line, which I like to do with a lot of things. And I've understood that when you hit that point of balance or neutrality, people actually don't like that because they want to take a side, okay? None of your business, okay? You don't concern yourself with that, all right? Not anymore. After this video, not anymore, okay? After this video, I really challenge you guys to take some time, take some quiet time away from everyone, okay? Think about who you want to be in 5 years. Think about, you know, don't think about, this has nothing to do with other people. I don't care if you're dating someone. I don't want it to be like, yeah, I want to be married to so-and-so. Fuck so-and-so, first off. This needs to truly be about you. Where do you see yourself? Do you see yourself in a house? Okay, so you're going to be in a house. Do you see yourself with a higher paying job? No? Do you not want to work but still have money? Yes? Okay. You know, keep it a little vague but specific like that, right? Because then you got to understand with what you really want, do the people around you serve that, okay? And a lot of people keep people around incoincidentally or unbeknownst to them because those people give them that exchange but in a not healthy way. So those people keep you around and it keeps you feeling validated, but they're not the right people. So you do too much and you overdo it and people please because you don't feel like it's the right people. So you have one or two options: to keep people pleasing and burning yourself out, or to be you and they accept you or they don't, okay? The way that I ended up learning that was, there was a point where I was really sick and I was delivering like baked goods to my friends just because I really like them. And I want to have a bakery, right? Bakery restaurant kind of thing. So this gives me a chance to make my recipes and fine tune them and have someone to give them to, right? So like little people who, test subjects, not little people, but test subjects in a sense. Like you can be my test team and, you know, I love you guys, so I don't mind baking for you and whatever, I got the time. So then I realized at a certain point, they're like, where are my muffins? Where are my cookies? And I'm like, excuse me, I'm really sick right now, so I can't bake anything. And I really realized that's where I was over people pleasing because I was sick and nobody was helping me, but they were only worried about where are their cookies, you know, how these cookies. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so that was a key thing to me that, oh my god, I have to change friend groups. I need to just stop being friends with these people. And that's a period of time where I just really sat with myself. I really sat with the things that I was doing to please people, and where did that stem from? And it stemmed from that douchebag that I dated at 18. And he really made me feel like I was not worth anything because he really pinned me against other girls. And I'd never been like that. So that's where I was like, I don't like the fact that this person is making me feel jealous or making me feel insecure about what I've got going on, because I know what I got going on is fucking awesome. So what the fuck is this person's problem? Are they blind? So it was very confusing to me, and I stayed in that cycle because I was like, well, you know, let me just try even harder and he'll see it. No, what the fuck? Okay, if someone doesn't love you with what you're giving them more, they're not gonna love you more. Okay, so if you're in that cycle, stop. Do what's right for you. Love yourself, okay? Okay? Put some respect on your name! Okay, don't disrespect your family like that, okay? Anybody up in heaven who's watching down on you or whatever, even if they were awful, like, make the better decisions for the course of your future family, if there is any, or just in general, to help people and yourself. But, my throat hurts. You know, everybody is worthy of whatever they want. People who don't recognize that will surely shut you down and remind you what you deserve. And that's them viewing you with their own lens. So their projector lens is a little smudged. And they're like, oh, you don't deserve whatever you want because look at all those smudges. And you're like, oh, okay. I still deserve it, you know, and that will trigger them even more. Because they don't think they deserve it. And they think they should have to fix everything about them and be perfect. And then they'll be worthy. But you're worthy of whatever you want right now. Okay? You are never going to be perfect. Stop waiting until you're perfect to decide that you're worthy of your dreams and goals. You are worthy of your dreams and goals right now. Just as imperfect as you are. And I will always say this, okay? This idea of perfection, the perfect human is actually being imperfect. Because there's no human that's perfect. So if you go by that, being perfect means you have to be imperfect. So get to sinning, okay? I remember burning myself out for the wrong people, and it got me into terrible places, okay? I ended up losing jobs and, you know, just being involved with situations that just were not meant for me. And then I started taking advice from these people that had bad relationships, and I was wondering why my relationships were going bad. So I really had to sit with myself, and I understood, okay, since this time of 18, I've really been, like, trying to be a people pleaser, which is difficult because it's kind of like it's not that I don't like people pleasing, it's just that that goes against who I am because I want to be me. So, like, why am I having to fit in with this? But then I was like, okay, I guess I have to, and I don't know why I didn't stop earlier, but it is what it is, right? So I ended up breaking up with that dude, and, well, he broke up with me, but nonetheless, we separated. And at that point, I just made a vow to myself. I think I was like 20. That was when I went on my mission to Colorado, my adult whatever. That was me just reconnecting with me. You know, I know what I want. I know what I'm about. I know what I've always wanted to do. So let me just go at it. I'm sick of letting this turd muncher try to tell me what I am when he doesn't even know, you know. And he's, meanwhile, you know, comparing me to these people who don't even respect relationships. So go have them. Go have them, okay? By the way, his name is Richard Doss. He is a PEDO, and I think he's dating a lady who has kids. A part of me wants to tell her, but a part of me, I don't know if is that okay? But anyway, if you see this, and the algorithm brought me to you because of that name, stay clear. How do I know? Because, we'll go on the story a little more in depth, but, trigger warning, in a different video with Justin, his friend. But this guy, I dated him when I was 18, so that should have been clear to me, but it wasn't. And then we broke up, and then, we ended up meeting before he left Arizona, and he's like, yeah, I gotta leave Arizona. I was like, okay, whatever, we had dinner, whatever. And come to find out, why did he leave Arizona? Because he lived with his cousin, who had a daughter, and her daughter's friend needed help and a place to stay, so they housed her. He, at 30 years old, ended up dating a girl who's 14, and then he told the daughter, his cousin's daughter, to keep it a secret. And one day at dinner time, she just busted out in tears, started crying, and exposed them. And he never told me, so I ended up moving back in with him in Wisconsin, and found pictures on his laptop of them kissing, and nothing like too crazy, like that's already fucking crazy, okay? But nothing, no clothes on or anything, nothing like that. But things of them kissing, him touching her, and stuff like that. And like screenshots of like text messages and shit. And so that was proof enough. And I was like, ew. Ew. So then I go kick over his motorcycle. Anyway, we'll tell that story in depth later. So that guy really fucked me up, as you can imagine. Like A1 groomer right there. So that's like their job, is to make you second guess yourself, okay? So when you're around people like that, they're doing exactly what they think they should be doing because they want to keep you pleasing them. It's a bad codependent kind of shit, and it stems from attachment issues. So that's where once you start recognizing, oh shit, I'm people pleasing, you got to recognize where it starts with the attachment issues, right? And why, you know, and that's where going back to the anxiety thing of having a safe space to really let your guard down in every sense, okay? If it means getting rid of people, then you're going to have to do that. But I hope that space gets you to that point to recognizing that you have to, okay? And when you start laying down boundaries, I'm going to remind you, people will be pissed off. Because, like I say, like, okay, I'm not going to deliver muffins or cookies to you guys. And then they'll get pissed off. Go buy some. Like, I'm tired. I'm sick. You know? At that point, I'd been on chemo for a shit ton. And I believe my elbow was acting up. Because I think I was dating Tyler at that point. And another Tyler, and that was when my elbow was really bad. But, you know, we all get into the cycle, and it's okay. It's not okay, but have some grace with yourself. Give yourself some space to make mistakes. You give space for other people to make mistakes. Give yourself that same space, and be easy on yourself when you make that mistake, because mistakes are there for you to learn, okay? Mistakes don't mean failure. Mistakes don't mean you're a bad person or anything. Okay, you know, like, something's not right with this. Maybe you don't know it's all the way wrong. You don't conceptualize it yet, but you're still, you know, and especially if you're younger than 25, your frontal lobe hasn't formed, and you get a clearer picture the older you get. I know that because that's what's fucking happening. It's crazy when the frontal lobe forms. It's like, ah. Anyway, but just when you make a mistake, you know, be like, oops, I fucked up. That's actually how I started taking accountability more easy, is just being kind of funny like that. And while that's not like, yes, I messed up and I will do better, it's not exactly like taking accountability. It was actually a step for me to take that made it easier to take accountability. Like, sooner or later, I got used to saying, oops, I fucked up. Even in situations where I didn't fuck up. I'm like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. You know, and I just laugh about it because it's funny to say I fucked up in like that sense, right? So in that, it kind of gave me more of a lighthearted tone if I did mess up. You know, if I spilled milk, oops, I fucked up. If I broke a cup, oops, I fucked up. You know, oops. Fuck. So eventually that kind of rewired my brain to be like, yeah, you know what? I really did fuck up. If it was a serious situation, but truth be told, I can't, well, yeah, I can probably think of many where I did that. But I don't really associate with a lot of people anymore, so I can't think of really many situations in the recent time that I have, like, purposely, not purposely, but, like, fucked up and been like, oh, okay, yeah, I fucked up. But because of that little period where I had, like, no friends, that was the time where I just took a lot of accountability for things. And some people will want to, what do you call it? Cast a stone kind of thing because you fucked up in this way. They fucked up in this way. And people who truly love themselves and know themselves don't really ever look at you as, oh, you fucked up. It's more of, okay, that's your journey. That's a mistake that's on your journey and you're going to learn from it. And I'm here to support, and, you know, if I can help in any way, you know, this is how I would do it, but whatever. You know, it turns different. It turns with more love after a while. And so that's where, like, you start having different friendships because you realize, okay, like, now that I've healed, my relationships and friendships are less codependent. Before, it was like, okay, I always had to be the good friend. I always had to be this, that. But now my friends have good relationships, and so that means our relationships are good because I don't have to be more than what I am. I can just be a friend. I don't have to be, you know, this person who is always giving you validation. I don't have to be this and I have to be that. I'm not set in one box. You know, I just, for me now, because I understand this path that people make their own mistakes and, you know, people are on their own journey of figuring out who they are, and that's okay. It gives you more grace with handling people. You learn to not insert yourself when mistakes are happening, but you still are there for them, right? And that's learning not to people please. That's learning to have boundaries with yourself, because there's so many times where I want to help my friends and be like, hey, like, come move in with me, or let me help you with this. But truth be told, I'm not at a point of, like, firm stability that I want to be at yet. So I don't want to get into this bad habit of people pleasing. Now, I do think it's important to give back to people and be nice, okay? So there's a limit. And you get to decide that. You get to decide, am I people pleasing? Because sometimes I will think about offering something. Like, for instance, like one time I offered to show emails to the court. I was going to, but I actually didn't have them. I didn't know at the time, but just looking back a few days ago, I didn't have them, and I'm like, whew, thank God I didn't like overly people please, because I wouldn't have had those emails, and that would have made my case fail, you know. So nonetheless, I think it's really important, you know, once you learn your truth and know who you are and start embodying that and being assured of that, you know, you'll find people who rock with that path. You'll start finding people who are all for it. It might take some time, but you have to be so loudly and authentically shining that people can see it. It's like a beacon for your people, right? So you just got to trust that you being you is going to draw in the people that are like-minded or open-minded or meant for your community, whatever that might be, right? So, you know, in that sense, I think a lot of people assume that being themselves is not worthy, not good enough, they're going to draw in no one, whatever. And even if you have a small community, I think it's important to be grateful for them, because you could have no one. And so that's where kind of transmuting that energy will help you later on in your life, because those become your foundational building stones for manifesting, believing in yourself, achieving what you want, whatever it might look like. And you got to remember, you deserve that. Stop letting people determine if you deserve that. You think I'm going to let people determine if I'm going to have a $4 million startup restaurant? I tell them that and they're like, oh, you could never. I'm like, okay, well, you could never, but I could, okay? You think I'm going to let people tell me that I'm not going to get my dream? No, okay? Don't let that be you, all right? And even if that looks like your family, not to be morbid, but they're not going to be here at a certain point of your life. Do you want to look back on that and wish you would have gotten started with your dream instead of pursuing theirs, or what? And here's the thing. I live in honor of my grandma. So if that's your case, you know, you can still do things and live in honor of the people that you love and make them proud by still doing what you want. Do I think my grandma loves my tattoos? No, she didn't. But I would like to think if she loved art. If she were alive nowadays, because of how normal and whatever, if she didn't grow up Mormon, I think she would have tattoos. I think she would love to live alone. I think, you know, so in those cases, I think because of that, she is proud of me. She's proud of me living in my truth. And some people don't know their truth, and that's for you to decide, you know. And that's where, like, I'll get into another segment of, like, how I'm confident and built confidence and how I stopped being jealous of people. Because I went through those emotions, too. And it really all stems from putting the ego down, you know. A lot of people take offense to it as their character because of the way someone else is making you feel. I don't know why, but it's never hit like that for me. It's always like, what are you even doing? What is this weird behavior, you know? And then it impacts me a certain way and I start being weird and I don't like that. So then I fix it. So that'll go after this because I think it goes hand in hand, you know, but being a people pleaser will always stem from not knowing your worth, okay? I think there's a difference now, okay? So when you're trying to do like marketing and stuff, this is not going to apply to you, okay? This is when you're living your authentic truth, okay? You as a person, you're going to piss people off. You're going to make people happy, you're going to piss people off. You don't get to decide, truthfully. But what do you get to decide to do is whether you're going to be happy or not. And you don't need $1 million to be happy. Yes, $1 million would make us all happy, probably. But why wait until then to be happy? You could find things to be happy about today. You know, if you have a roof over your head, while you don't have $1 million, that's going to be you in the future. The fact that you want that, very possible that that could be you in the future. Especially with the internet, that is very possible with you to be that in the future. So the fact that you have that thought, in my mind, shows the seed of the worth that you think you are worthy of, you know? You think you are worthy of that $1 million something, you probably are. Now, it's gonna take some work. You gotta really prove to the universe that you think you're worth it. I always say, like, you have to mirror, the universe will mirror you. So what you want the universe to mirror to you, you gotta put out, right? So you gotta start putting out positivity, start gratitude, everything, and that'll change things and help you redefine your self-worth, because then you'll see things differently, you'll see people differently, and you'll see them through the struggles that they're going through and resonate with them through the struggles that you've been through, so you can kind of relate to them, and no more is their judgment after that. You're like, oh, I get it. And so you're just like, well, I love me, and I'm going through the same journey, and I love them, because, you know, I hope they make it out of it just like I do. Whatever, you know. And I think comparing yourself to another person is not going to do anything because you don't know what they're going through. For instance, I might not be financially stable. I'm not making those 10K months yet. I'll be honest with y'all. I think right now maybe 5K, maybe. But to be fair, I just got my OF back and I'm still dealing with my health issues. So I'm kind of like, I'm trying to still, whatever. Anyway, I will get there. But, you know, I could always look at these girls who are being mean to me and whatever and be like, oh man, I wish I was more like them because they're making me feel like I'm not worth it. Oh my God. And, you know, oh, they're so wealthy, blah, blah. Because these are girls who are dynamite on their SW. They're comfy, financially stable, whatever. And they have tons of following, which I've been trying to pine towards. But because I have trolls who report my whatever. Which is funny because those same girls are the ones who report my shit too. Nonetheless, I could look at that situation and be like that, but truthfully, the mental work is more of a gift right now than money could be. Because A, those girls, I already know, mentally, things are not well. I'm glad it's not me, you know. I hope they find their sanity, and figure themselves out, but I'm just grateful it's not me. You know, and on top of that, people like that are the people pleasers, so they will do things that just only highlight the good things in life. They won't be vulnerable or honest with things because it's about the facade. It really is. So, to me, the facade is really hard to keep up. I don't care to keep it up. I don't care to be, you know, dancing around things, sugarcoating, whatever. So, it's easier for me just to be authentic, honest, 100%, whatever. So, to me, I've just found that, okay, if I have a bad feeling with someone, I don't really want you around. I don't need to find out why I have a bad feeling, because every single time I've had a bad feeling about someone, they've proved to me why I had a bad feeling about them. So I learned with that just to stop guessing myself like that, and really trust in myself and trust in my journey, and not to compare myself with others, because I've learned to truly love myself. And I think, you know, that is so important, because if you don't love yourself, you will subject yourself to so much shit. If you don't love yourself enough, you'll take jobs that don't pay you enough, and then you'll stress yourself out, and you can get very physically sick, especially if you're a woman. You could get very sick from that, okay? Women are more susceptible to autoimmune illnesses, and those are, a lot of them are kickstarted by stress. So I'm not picking my nose, by the way. My nose itches. It's the fucking coffee. I know it. It's my last little bit. Thank God. The more I drink this, like, less, like, spaced out more, the less I want it, which is good. I'd like to think like every 2 weeks I'll get a coffee. Every week is fine. I don't mind it. It's not impacting my teeth too bad. But my teeth stain very easy, for reference. I get the trolls telling me all the time, okay? Especially if I drink a lot of coffee for the week. Anyway, you define who you are. You don't let people tell you who you are, okay? And if you don't know who you are, sit down and decide who you want to be. Decide, look at the people in your life. People that you don't like, you don't want to be like them. People that you do like, you want to take traits of them. And you can be that person. There's no point in comparing. But if you want to be that way, just know in your heart, in your mind, that, okay, with some work, I will be that way. And I will be able to be confident in myself. I'll be able to be strong, whatever. Like a lot of girls, they'll follow me because they're very girly. And I think they want to have that kind of cool girl aspect, or the... And that sounds cocky, but I just realized that I'm like the cool girl, okay? I know it sounds stupid, but like I ride motorcycles, I'm just chill, you know, and it's the dudes that are attracted to me, so I think it's because like it's the, you know, the laid back, you know, and these girls, they want to be that, and so they start trying to like compare themselves, but here's the thing, they don't fit in that box. They fit in their own box, which is just as beautiful, you know, which is what I never understand, because I see these beautiful girls trying to change themselves into me, and I'm like, what are you even doing? That looks so weird on you, because it's not you. I do my makeup because it suits my features. I do my tattoos the way they are because it suits my features. And most of these people will see what I've got going on, and they'll just copy it, and they'll get frustrated because they don't look the same. And then they'll be really mean to me because they wanted to look like me when they embodied that, but they don't. And so they start being really mean and passive aggressive to me. And it's because they could never be me. But that's the beauty of it, is you could be you. And it's not that it's better than being me, but it will be better for you. You'll be happier, you'll be more fulfilled, you'll be in love with you, you know. Seeing someone like me won't bother you as much. And I trigger people because I do what I want, I dress how I want, I look how I want. I don't care if people like it or not. And people who really like themselves, you know, like that. And people who really don't like themselves really fucking hate that, because it triggers them into realizing they live for other people. And because my grandma passed away living for her husband, who was a piece of crap, I really vowed not to be like that. I did not want to give my life away to someone who did not give a shit about me. And so I've always wanted this restaurant and stuff, so I just decided to go get it. And I never knew I would inspire people. I really didn't. But a lot of people comment how they find it inspiring that I just do whatever the fuck I want. And I thought everybody was doing that, but I've come to learn that no, but not a lot of people do that. A lot of people fake doing that, or a lot of people fake, you know, being happy with their life. And really sit down and write down what you want your life to look like without other people around. You know, I know most people need other people. I personally don't. I like to fucking be alone all the time. It's bad. Like, even when I date someone, like, I like to do parallel play most of the time. Like, just leave me alone, but, like, you can exist in the same, you know, I know that sounds kind of mean, but, like, I don't know. I am very particular on people that I live with. But, I think, you know, really decide what you want to the core and go from there. And it's going to be difficult, I say again, okay, but at the end of it, it's going to be easier because you just do what's good for you, and that becomes second nature. Okay, that's easier than trying to figure out what other people want and then doing it, and then maybe potentially messing it up and pissing them off, walking on eggshells. You know, I'd rather just do what I want, and when I meet people like that, they see, okay, she's going to do whatever she wants. I already don't fit in this box that they want me to fit in. So I don't know what expectations they have, but I have found people have looser expectations with me. They don't really know what to expect. And I think when you live authentically, like, you don't have to look this way. You could be, you know, whatever, just as long as you're living authentic, people don't know what to expect because they want you to fit in that box because it's predictable, because they know what to expect, you know? So it's not always so black and white like that. And it pisses people off when they're met with that reality and you're doing something better in the sense of you being happy, successful, because don't forget, happiness is success. Okay, do not forget. A lot of people who are rich are not happy. How do I know? Because most people are unhappy, okay? Most people would have a lot of money, but they would help others. And I think it takes a certain kind of person to hoard money, because if you hoard anything else, it's deemed like a disease, right? But hoarding money is fine, I guess. And it really takes a certain person to hoard, right? You know? So, realistically, it's a mental illness to me. And it's you know, it takes a certain person. And most of us are good people to the core, okay? It doesn't mean you're perfect, but you're still a good person, right? You have enough at a certain point, and you are happy to help others at a certain point. But I think to get more people like that, we need to understand that people's differences, once again, are not a threat. It's not an attack to us. It's there to inspire you to be more you. You see someone who's different, don't judge them and be mean like, ugh, like, what is that? Who cares? Why do you care so much? Why does it bother you so much? Probably because you see people who are happy and you're not, because A, look at what you're saying. You're already telling me you're not happy without telling me, you know, and B, you're likely wearing some normal-ass clothes and very unhappy the fact that you can't go out with the confidence to dress like this person or look like that person or whatever, you know. You literally live by your parents' rules, your friends' rules, your work rules, whatever. And now that's not a problem, I want to say. Some people thrive in that, and that is their happiness. But once again, if it is truly your happiness, you do not judge others for what they do for their happiness, as long as it doesn't hurt other people, right? So that's something that a lot of people should recognize when they get into people-pleasing modes, is that people who are actually happy literally will not put you in that situation. They will let you know having boundaries is okay. They will respect your boundaries and be happy to honor them. It's never a big deal. Like, it's a big deal. Like, if I violated them, that's a big deal, obviously. But it's not like, oh, well, fine. You know, it's not like that. So, but nonetheless, you know, I always say it this way. So, you know, I've said this before. So, you know, when you, wherever it is, source, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, there's a source that will pour into you. That might be whatever makes you happy, okay? Artwork, whatever. So that's going to come and pour into your cup. Now, most of us know the spit is... Look, I even have a floaty right here. I would not want to give this to my friend. I would pour it out and give her a fresh cup, okay? So, in that case, her cup would be underneath mine, okay? So, at this point, I used to pour from this cup. It used to be not that great because, you know, I was giving, you know, the stressed parts of myself, but I was scattering it for all the people, and it just was making me more sick and more empty, you know? Now, I let the universe pour into me, and once my cup is full, everybody around me that I care about are the ones to reap the benefits. They don't get the disgusting spit water, okay? Because I'm worthy of more and they're worthy of more. And that only happened when I started putting it into myself. People are like, oh, nobody's ever there for me. Well, answer me this. If nobody's ever there for you, how many times have you chose others over yourself, okay? For me, the answer was always. I always chose others over myself because I didn't want to face what was going on with me, and I figured putting my work into others will help. And months that I struggle with finances, I really take the time to turn inward because I don't want to project that onto other people. B, I know that means something is with the internal world, right? So I want to figure it out, and not just figure it out for myself, but so that I can teach people who get on those same ruts. So, yeah. You're not a bad guy for people pleasing. I think we all go through that, and to be successful in your life, happy, financially, whatever, living your ultimate truth, being able to speak up when you want to speak. I know some people, you know, they have trouble speaking up when something happens and they want to stop something, or like, oh, no, actually, you know, or like even going to the nail salon. People are people pleasers and they'll just accept their nail, whatever, but they'll be very unhappy. You know, you're going to be unhappy that whole time you have those nails, and you might even have to pay extra money to get them redone. Whereas you could just, you know, tell this person, hey, I like it this way. And that benefits in so many ways because A, you're getting what you want. B, if you become a repeat client, they know more what you want. C, maybe they weren't so good at the shape and you fixed their shape style and now they know how to do the shaping better. Like, you know, speaking your truth and being authentic to you and not people pleasing really is helpful for everyone. And that's where I preach, like, you don't really have to be like giving millions of dollars to people, blah, blah, to help people. You can inspire them through your actions of being you. And I think, you know, that's really the gift that keeps on giving. It really is. And as corny as it sounds, but you can really just do so much with that. And I really preach that if you find your ultimate happiness, that'll drive forward in life. You can, but if you don't place your happiness first right now, why in 40 years would your happiness be there? Okay, you're not prioritizing it. When will you? You know, because the further deeper you get in, this even goes down to divorces and marrying people. People please and then end up marrying people out of ego, thinking, okay, I have to have the wife, I have to have the kids, the white picket fence, it looks good on me kind of thing. And they end up marrying the wrong person, and it just is disastrous. They end up having kids, and it's hard to leave. And, you know, when you're unhappy, just figure out what's making you unhappy and go from there. You're going to hurt people in the process. But, you know, ultimately, if they're meant to be in your life and you really figure out the core of your happiness, the people that are good for you will come back for you. Like, maybe you have kids in your life and, you know, some people would be like, yeah, my father did that and he stepped away. Okay, so if your father really loved himself, he would, you know, step away for a few years, work on himself, and then come back and try to mend the relationship kind of thing. You know, not everybody gets that opportunity, whether it be mom, brother, sister, whatever. You don't need to wait on other people and external events to be happy. You can be like, hey, I respect the fact that they love themselves enough to step away from me and work on themselves, you know, because as a kid, you probably would have endured more trauma if they hadn't. You know, there's so many scenarios. You know, I view it as protection, as corny as it is. you know, and it doesn't stem from your self-worth. It doesn't mean you were unworthy or anything. It has everything to do with the internal issues that that person was going through. So you got to stop, you know, letting their projections get to you, and understand that you can't control people, and people act through their own world, okay? So whatever they're going through is how they're going to act towards you. And just know if it's fucked up, then there's something going on. And that doesn't make it any easier, but knowing that, and we all go through fucked up shit, it kind of helps give a little grace and whatever you want to call it. But, you know, if you prioritize your happiness and figure out really what makes you happy, not ego, but what makes you happy to the core, then you're going to find it. And I guarantee you, it's going to look a little crazy to people, you know, but prioritizing that, you see the end goal. They don't. They don't even know what you see, okay? So don't let people discourage you. And we'll talk more about this people-pleasing thing, because there's so many layers to it, right? And you have any questions, please drop them in below. But there's so many layers to this, so this will be a multiple-part series, as I've said before. But, you know, I think people-pleasing is something that we all tend to do. We get stuck in it, because it's very easy to get stuck in it. And this is where I say, thank God for, like, Charles, for the phrase that he said, complacency is a bitch. And like I said, at that time, it was really hard to hear. I was like, damn, that's really fucked up, dude. The fuck? But now, he's right. Complacency is a bitch. Being comfortable can be your downfall, you know, especially if you're meant to have more. And especially if you want more, you're going to be put through things because the universe wants that for you. Because internally, you want more. And so the universe is putting you, it's a paradox. Like, the universe is putting you through more because you want more, but because that negative energy is part of the magnet that's going to attract the positive energy that you need, okay? And then with that positive thing, there's going to be new situations that come around that you have to deal with, and it's going to keep catapulting that energy. It's like a Tesla coil thing. Like, you would have to know about that. So if you do know about that, it's like that. They use magnets to propel and create like an electrical energy current. So, you know, you could do the negative end to the negative end or whatever, I don't fucking know, and it'll push it away, right? So, you know, we get frustrated with situations because we know we deserve better, and ironically enough, that better will come in, but you have to start understanding the limiting beliefs that are preventing that better from coming in. Is it because you don't know your own worth? Is it because you're people-pleasing? Is it because you're people-pleasing and inviting the wrong people in and they're bringing in the wrong energy? Never second guess the energy that people bring with them, okay? You know when people come into the room and you can kind of sense they're mad? Energy is contagious and you can feel it, but people will very much gaslight themselves into feeling energy like it's crazy or something. It's not. Keep feeling it. Understand those feelings in here, because that's going to lead you. When you have something that you're excited about and like you get a feeling that's familiar with like the good feelings when the positives happen, then you know to lead with that feeling, right? And that's how people pleasing will get you out of those states of lack and everything. Because I see a lot of people, they think they have to date someone to survive in this economy. Listen, it's hard to date someone, okay? It's hard to be on your own and afford all the rent. I would much prefer to be on my own, because I am so sick of going through the stress with these guys, especially because a lot of them were physical with me. No, thank you. I'm going to work on being the best version of me, and that way I know I'll attract the good people, because I'll be honest, that was probably the worst version of me, and I attracted the worst people. So I'm grateful I'm no longer that. I'm grateful I've grown, and that's where, like, you got to understand that it's not a bad person or good person when you grow through that. We make our mistakes, okay? So while the people that were bad to me in my life, I don't necessarily view them as bad people. I don't know if they'll keep doing it, then they are, you know, but if they learn, then they are no longer bad people, you know. Those are just mistakes they've made and they've learned from them, and that, I think, is a mindset that people should have, because it makes them be a lot easier on themselves when they make a mistake, because the more we beat ourselves up over the mistake, the more we make the mistake. It's kind of like you yell at someone for dropping milk. Oh, you piece of shit, blah, 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 you know? And so now whenever they pick up the milk, they're shaking, and then they drop it even more. You know, it makes the situation worse. It's okay. It's okay. I love you. It's okay. You don't need to calm down. Not a big deal. It's a mistake, okay? We'll get better at this. Why do you keep dropping the milk? You know, is it because it's too heavy? Is it because you're nervous when you pick it up that you're going to drop it? Because it's heavy? Like, what is it? How can we help you? And you got to be your support team like that, okay? Especially if you don't have anyone. A lot of people will be like, oh, I don't have anyone, blah, blah. Stop blaming them. you have yourself, okay? You're here on this planet, you have you. And at the end of the day, when people dip out on you, you will only have you. So you got to make sure you are like tight with yourself. You are your number one hype man. You know, in here has to be a good place to be. And you got to break down why it's not. And that's where we go back to like having that environment. If you have anxiety or stuff, building the safe space for you to break these things down, right? And it's always about asking why. Why? You don't have to ask crazy questions. You don't have to be a psychologist. Just keep asking why, okay? Why until you get to the root. And even then, try to keep asking why, you know? But I just want to remind you, you know, if you are a people pleaser, you're still worthy of everything you want because you deserve it, okay? I understand where people pleasing comes from. There's so many places. It could be abusive childhood. It could be just lack of feeling like you fit in. It could be mental illness, whatever. I do thoroughly believe everyone can make it out of that, and you just gotta really want your own happiness more than you want other people to view you in a certain light. Because you're gonna find people who view you in that great light, but who support who you really are. Versus people who view you in a great light, but it's fake and you're not happy, and then you'll still have haters too, believe it or not. So at least doing it the other way, you're authentic and happy, you'll have haters, but you'll be successful, whatever. So, and I really think like the success comes with happiness and just doing true to the core kind of things. And so that's just kind of what I believe, and I'm kind of trying to prove that as well. So for those who don't believe me, then that's fine. I hope to show you, and I hope from there it inspires you to do it in your own way, because I think everybody deserves to be happy as long as it's not hurting others. So just know that. Just know I'm sending all the love to you and all the good energy. If there's people in your environment making you feel any sort of way like you're not good enough, you are. You're worthy, even if you sleep all day, okay? If you're depressed and you sleep all day, first off, I'll say this. Proud of you for taking a fucking break for yourself. This world is so goddamn hard, okay? I'm so sick of people being like, ew, you sleep all day? Barbara, have you seen the state of the fucking world? Okay? The funnest thing I do is sleep with my dogs, okay? And I feel like I'm getting better. So you know, when people sleep a lot, I think it's because they're sick. And sometimes when we've been through things that might look like just like a little bruise on the brain. Not in a literal sense, but you know, things that mentally impact us like a PTSD or a mental illness or anything, you just view it like a bruise on the brain. You've got to sleep a little bit and kind of take care of it like it's just like you're literally physically harmed, right? And take it easy. And since it's on the brain, you know, definitely sleeping and recovering while sleep is so, like, it's a big thing, like scientists talk about all the time. So scientists, medical people, whatever, it's just known that you recover when you sleep. So, you know, even if you're sleeping all day, I'm proud of you for taking that time to yourself and resting and healing your body. Keep doing it, okay? There's a period where I was sleeping for like, you know, it really felt like for a year, 2 years straight. I still got stuff done, but I slept a lot. But now I don't find the need to. So it's all about healing that emotional internal regulation and everything like that. And you will find you will probably need to do that once you get out of the people-pleasing zone. Once I stopped people-pleasing, I left my job. And I had to get out of like the alarm phase and waking up scared that I missed work and stuff like that. It's a whole cycle, you know. It's a whole journey. And I'm still currently going through it. So, but like I said, I'm happy to share everything and then some with you guys. I hope this video helps someone, and just know, even if you are people pleasing, you're still worthy, you're still wonderful and important, and it's a hard cycle to get out of. So if you're starting that, or if you want to start it, I commend you for just wanting to start it, you know. But we'll go further into this and some other things. I don't know what we'll talk about next, but anyway, I gotta do stuff. So I hope you guys have a good day. I'll upload these, and yeah, take care of your guys' self. I love you. Hydrate, eat. More importantly, figure out what makes you happy, because that's important, okay? As long as it doesn't hurt others. So you deserve happiness. You deserve to be happy, and you can be happy right now, okay? Don't wait for those things to come in to be happy. So, because you deserve it, okay? I love you guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, whatever. And I'll see you guys later. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow. Because I'm going to do a video tonight and then upload it tomorrow. And then tomorrow will be like a food day, I think, is what we said. I don't remember. Anyway, okay, bye.